see if I can get this on my dress here. Okay, so I joked last night that I was going to make everybody get up and work out a little bit. Do a little jazzercise. Okay, so to start, I really do want you to stand up. And I know that we just did. But I want you to stand up. And I want you to turn to somebody next to you. And I know we're at a circle table, so you might have to do it twice. But I want you to tell somebody next to you, and don't do it yet, a very genuine compliment. It can be about the way they look, the way that they've made you feel today, or the person that they are. So turn to somebody next to you and give them a compliment.
I have lots of things I can say about you. Pretty eyes, beautiful lips, perfect hair.
Trying everything. I don't wear wigs now.
I get less fashion today, so I
know. I was hoping so.
Yeah.
That was good.
Oh yeah.
That's not me. Like I really
I texted my husband and I was like, it's coming.
I mean, I have what I'm going to kind of say, but I don't really even know the flow yet. I'm just going to, I don't know that I'm going to be 30 minutes. I'm going to try my best to go 30 minutes.
I know. I got to practice.
It's just going to be I'm practicing again tonight too. I've been practicing.
Me too. I did it last night. I stood in front of the mirror.
I know. And then it's like trying to make sure you smile the whole time when you're talking. Like, you're like not looking like you're mad. So we're talking about tomorrow when we talk. It's like,
Charger.
Okay, can you hear me better now? Okay. Okay, so how does that make you feel? Why do you think I did that?
I think I'm going to have to move over here for a
I'll
minute.
tell you
Charge my
why.
phone.
It's twofold. This
So
is
I
all
can't
in my
see it.
hair, so we'll see how this goes. But can you hear me? I guess I can. Okay, so it's twofold. I'm a big believer in making other people feel good, right? And there's a reason why. Because when you tell somebody a compliment, it gets your blood flowing because you feel a little bit nervous or a little bit insecure or a little bit like how are they going to perceive it. And I think that, and I was taught this at a very young age, and I literally will get emotional, so I won't go to the story, but it was at the right time in my life that somebody gave me a compliment. And I'll never forget the feeling I got when it was so genuine and it was so needed. So I want you to think about that going into your business, that what you put into the world is what you're going to get out. Truly. What you put into this world is what you're going to get out. So when you want somebody to do well, you need to speak it into existence. Let them know how you feel. I think that that's where it truly starts when you're trying to build somebody. Because at the beginning, just like Lauren talked about, we want to build these pinks, we want to build these blues, and ultimately build them to green. And that's what I want to talk to you guys about. And again, my name is Jordan. I'm a mom of 3. I didn't tell you guys that. I am in Tulsa. I'm from Texas, though. I don't want to see myself up there, so I'll flip that. Okay, so that's why I wanted you to compliment somebody else, because I think, honest to God, I'm going to talk here in a minute on task lists, and I know that my team's probably going to laugh because I talk about it until I'm blue in the face, because I truly believe it's the foundation of a strong business. But on my task list every single day is to empower someone else. That's seriously the most, I honestly believe it's way more powerful than putting your own selfie or your own picture or going live about the makeup. When you empower someone else, imagine what that can do for the world, for your business, because that can trickle down. Okay, so it's definitely twofold. It grows you as a person and it grows them. Okay, so this is the part of me that everybody laughs. Lauren, I was like, we really are going to do jazzercise. I'm not going to make you exercise, but I want to throw this fact out there. I think it's important every single day to do something that that makes you start the day right. So for me, it's exercise. I have to do it. It's every day of my life. It's something I enjoy. And I'll give you some facts on that. And I think this is why I need it to be a better leader. It increases your blood flow, which increases and helps you manage energy, which is 2 facts. And the third thing is I want you to know is it increases our brain function by 10%. So I know that seems comical, but when I get to go get my workout or my run, my mind is right the whole day. So what I want to put out there for you is a second thing, and again, I will go over a task list here in a minute. The second thing I do every single day is prepare myself for the day. And that just happens to be one of the things that I personally will not do, because I know that I'm going to be a better mom, I'm going to be a better leader, and I'm going to actually reach out to my girls that are up early in the morning and say, hey, I just got my run in, how's your day? Are you running today too? So it builds the relationships with people that connect with me on that level. And I think, and a lot of people may think, oh, that's just not me, but you have to find what motivates you. You have to find something that gets you started in the right way. Maybe that's, your prayer in the morning, maybe it's yoga, maybe it's having your coffee and having your 10 minutes alone. But you have to start your day right so that the whole day is as productive as it possibly can be. Okay, so that's the second thing I want you to think about. And I truly believe, like I said earlier, that you attract what you believe that you are. And so when you think about that, and we're all at different places in our life, but all of you have something amazing to offer, and you're only going to be as powerful as you believe that you can. So, and the reason I'm saying all these things is because I don't think you can build a leader, truly build leaders, if you're not leading yourself and feeding yourself and taking care of you. And I think as moms, I think as women, a lot of people just let themselves go and let what they need go so they can take care of everybody else. So those are things that I mentally prepare myself to be successful for the day. This quote was really powerful for me, and I have it written down, I think, in 3 places in my house. So I'm going to read that to you. And I wanted to show this video, but it was too long. I am the only problem I will ever have, and I am the only solution. That's powerful to me. I seriously have it in 3 places in my house. I'm the only problem that I'm ever going to have, and I'm the only solution. So for me, what that means is that when I start believing in myself, I can instill that in other people. And just like Lauren said, just like Derek has said many times, we're here for each other. That's why people stay, is because they have a sisterhood. So you remember that for yourself. You cannot build other people when you're not building yourself. Okay, so let's get this PowerPoint started here. What is a leader? Okay, on your paper, I'm a note taker. I really want you guys to walk away with something that you feel like you can go in your room today or whatever and make a video for your team, or reach out to your leaders, reach out to your girls that are new. And I want you to have something solid, and that's how I coach. So I'm just going to turn into teacher mode now, because that's where I feel comfortable, is just kind of having something solid for you guys. I have like pages of notes here. So I want you to write this down. I want you to write down what you believe makes a leader. And I'm going to give you 30 seconds to kind of talk amongst your team. And if I'm going to call on 3 people to give me qualities that they feel are important. What is a leader? What is a leader to you? That's the question. So 30 seconds. Okay, are y'all good? Anybody? Jen, give me one.
Genuine.
Genuine. Ella.
Influential.
Influential. Okay. Lauren.
Inspiring.
Inspiring. Okay, so and here's the thing on being a leader. I have so many leaders on my team, and I have amazing girls here. I'm not talking about anybody in particular, but they come to me and they'll say, Jordan, I'm just not a leader. I need you to lead my team. I'm not a leader. And every time somebody says that to me, I know that I need to work on them before I work on them with their business. And what I mean by that is developing that relationship, reminding them of the good that they bring, and harping on those good qualities rather than suppress the bad. That's how I always view people. I'm like, how can I make you see how awesome you are? Truly. Like, look at your girls that you, and I'll talk about this here in a second, but when I identify somebody that I want to work with, I empower what makes them feel good. It's very different. I have so many, like my best friends here in the middle of this room here, and every one of them is so different, but at the end of the day, they're all the same, that they want to be empowered, they want to feel good about themselves, they want to be a better mother every single day, they want to be, they're all best friends because of this journey, but I feel like if I were to coach them all the same, and I don't want to say coach like I'm their coach, but I just mean if I were to, share what I do with all of them in the same way, it wouldn't be effective, okay? So if somebody tells me they're not a good leader, I always tell them, okay, well, let's just be coachable. Let's learn. Let's learn how to be a leader. So what I'm going to do with you is I'm going to tell you what I think, my kinks today, and I'm going to turn to you, and I'm going to tell you what I did and I want you to turn around and share that with your team. And I'm sure that all of you guys would say that's exactly what I do. I always say, just take what I'm saying and go to your team. And then all of a sudden, a light bulb's gonna happen, and they're gonna be able to create that material with the information you've taught them how to create. So very important. Okay, so the next question. Who do you look to as a leader? And just on your own paper, will you write that name down? It can be anybody. It doesn't have to be unique related in any form or fashion. And I want you to, whenever you write this person's name down, I want you to write down 3 things that this person embodies to you. So everybody, you don't have to tell anybody your thoughts. I just want you to write those down. Okay, and I'll share, I won't say who my leader was, but this person for me, since they know me really well, they know how to feed they know how to feed what I need, I guess is the right way to put it. And they know that what I need is for them to be there. I don't need gifts, I don't need social praise. I just want them to know that they know me well enough to know what I need as a person. And so the leader for me embodies the relationship with me was the number one thing I wrote down. That leader knows how to build relationships with me. So I want you to think about that. And if you think of a leader, think of the person you wrote down, and now compare it in your mind only to yourself. And if it's not, that you're not able to lead like they are, that's okay. But I want you to think about, okay, this person helps me in this way. This is why I love this person. Now I need to turn to someone on my team, and I want to offer that to them. So you don't have to be the same person, but just remember, whatever this leader is to you, you can be that for somebody else, okay? And I think a lot of girls just think, oh, well, when I recruit somebody or somebody's on my team, I'll let so-and-so lead them. I'm not a leader. But as you, all of you in here are very successful and you've all done great things, you have everything it takes to go build someone. And the cool thing is that all of you have time this fall to have a new green. And I tell my girls, I'm like, do not discount a day, do not discount a person. You have somebody join your team today, we can get them to green this fall. Truly, it can happen. So that kind of brings me back to this, which I'll skip over, but motivating yourself every day. So when I wake up at 10 o'clock at night, I'm so routine, guys, so find your own routine. You don't have to do what I do. I'm just sharing what I do. 10 o'clock at night, I write my whole list down. What am I going to accomplish the next day? That way, when I wake up with purpose, and I wake up, and again, every day is different. You know, we all have excuses, but I turn my excuses into why I want to be successful at this business. So take your excuses and formulate your why that's so powerful that you would never quit, and have a task list that aligns with that why. So when I wake up, and let's say that I go to the gym or whatnot, and I'm a dreamer. So when I'm working out or doing something that helps me to start the day right, I'm kind of mentally preparing my day. So whatever time of day you wake up, whatever your routine is, think about how you can maximize the time you have to give. I think all of you would agree that most people say, oh, I just don't have time for that, or I don't, I couldn't do that because I'm not like you. When truly, it's a learned skill. You take the time you do have, and you plan to be successful in the amount of time you do have to give to the business. Okay, so I'm not going to cover this too heavily because Lauren did, but I will say my 80-20 was actually a little bit different than Lauren's, and I look at the 80-20 for my team. So when I'm deciding, when I'm looking at my back office, when I'm trying to identify someone, you guys, I have literally in the last 3 days, I'm looking at some girls in my back office. I look at their personal page, I have conversations with them, and they are sitting at white right now. And my goal is to get them all green before the end of the fall. So I'm telling you that only because new people have potential. So don't discount anyone. You can mold anyone once you know their goals, and you can help anyone get there. So my 80-20. So for example, my team training page. So think about, and everything I say, I want you to think in terms of your own page. So my team training page is for the masses. It's for everybody on my team. Everybody can look at it. Of course, we know not everybody does. But it's for the masses. It is for if I go live in there, if I'm teaching something, if I'm offering wording, it's for the masses. For me, I spend 80% of my time on the 20% that actually want to work the business. So there's 80% of your team, I can do a team training page, and I pull out 20% to go put in chats or groups, or, I get their phone number and I text them and become good friends with them. So you want to focus 80% of the time you're giving to your team on 20% of your team. You can't change the world. I mean, have to think, if I have 5 hours today, I can't just post them. Too many people say, I posted my team training group, I posted on Facebook, nobody wants it. No, that's just kind of like the advertisement. The work is what you do when you figure out who wants to work, right? So it's when you go build that relationship. It's when you dig deep, like Lauren said, into your back office. And the same, I won't go over that too, but I identify, I do a test, I send them information, I wait for them to reply to me. And when they reply, then I send them more. And so then I say, hey, let's get on the phone together. So I identify who wants it because my time is valuable, just like you guys. You know, we're all busy. So to grow yourself and to grow an elite, you have to pick on the person you're going to focus on. Very important. Okay, so how I build an elite. So we'll talk about this. Okay, so here's what I want you to write some notes down. On identifying them, again, it's the 80-20 rule. So, for example, this girl, I'm going to talk in terms of a girl of mine that just went blue. So I'm building a relationship with her. How am I building a relationship? Remember, the relationship building part is not about you. It's finding out what they need. What makes them tick? So this girl, she is super motivated, and she is motivated by direct communication with me. She is not motivated by team chat. In fact, she left 2 team chats. She is not motivated by me just posting a video. She is solely motivated by one-on-one communication with me. So we talk one-on-one, text message, 15 times a day. Now, could I invest that time in someone that just was hanging around? Absolutely not. I invest that time with her, and I know that that's what speaks to her. And she even told me, Jordan, I want to talk on the phone 2 or 3 times a week. I want to know I'm on the right path. I want to duplicate what you're doing. Whatever you send me, I'm going to do. Okay, so for this girl, the relationship building happens through text message, phone calls. That's what I do. I comment on her videos and posts and things she does, and every time I do, she sends me a message and says, oh my gosh, my day was just made. And again, she's on my team, she's my friend, so that's great, but now I know how to work with her, right? It's very genuine. I don't want you to take it that way. But you've got to figure out who to work with, and I know that's how she functions. So another example, I have a girl that just hit pink status. She's second down for me, so just like Lauren mentioned, I dig deep into my back office. And I congratulated her, I told her, amazing job, and she told me, she said, Jordan, I love the sisterhood, I need an accountability partner, because that's what I always coach. I coach accountability. So I found her an accountability partner. I put these 2 girls in a chat with me, and we communicate all day, every day. And that's what's going to get her to blue this month, because I know that with having an accountability partner, she feels very empowered, she feels special. She can ask a question, and if I can't answer it, the other girl can, because I've made them accountable to one another. I can challenge the 2 of them together, and they feel very valued. Okay, so sometimes I partner people up and put them together. Sometimes they're personal relationships with me. So you have to think about who you're talking to. Okay, so what do I do when I find somebody like this that's overall? So I have a chat. So if I find 3 or 4 girls that want to be pink status, for example, I have a pink chat. So this month I have 7 girls that I'm working very closely with to get to pink. So I individually message. This is key because it doesn't work any other way. I do call to action. That's where I kind of start. So in my training group, I do a call to action. I want to know who's working for a promotion. Okay. So then I kind of see. That gives them a chance to comment. And so I'll go kind of filter through. I'll write some names down. I'm like, okay, I've seen this girl working. I look in my back office. I stalk that thing. I want to know where they're at. So if I identify somebody, I track them weekly. And I encourage them weekly. Just the people I've identified. I ask these girls working for pink, I message them individually. So I do a call to action on my training group. Then I look through my back office. And then I message them. So I messaged 10 girls on September 28th. I like to do this at the last 4 days of the month so that I can be fully prepared for the 1st, and they can too. You have to do that. You can't on the 1st start looking through your back office because you're going to lose 5 days. Because you've got to be communicating, building up to the 1st. And this has changed. I want you to know that too, because a lot of my personal leads are here. It's changed over time, and I've kind of done trial and error. So I am not perfect. I'm just sharing with you what works for me right now most successfully. So I messaged all 10 of these girls, 27th or 28th of the month, and 7 responded back that they want the And I don't know who said this, maybe it was Bree, but the two of them said, yes, I want to be black status. And I was like, whoa, 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 you know, amazing, but we're going to get you to pink, we're going to get you to fast start, and we're going to see what happens. So you scale it back, and so I always think it's amazing to enjoy the process and have your eyes on, you have a vision of where you want to go, absolutely. But if you can't achieve black status the first month and that was your goal, it's like me saying right now I want to be B3. Oh, okay, great idea, Jordan. Have that in your forecast, but I've got to focus on now. You know what I'm saying? So with this girl, two of these girls in particular, I told them, I said, that's amazing. That's a great goal, but we've got to focus on the process. So what I'm telling you is you got to do call to action. You have to have these girls go through your back office. You reach out to them. Once they responded back to you, so I voiced all of them. I just said, hey, I'm so excited, amazing job, just like Lauren said, they hit 250, 500, whatever. I really start working with people that are 500 or over, because that means they're semi-invested in the business at least. I will work with anyone, but I reach out to 500 or over. So when I message these girls, I compliment them, I communicate with them, and I ask them a question. And it's always voice. Do not send them 5 minutes of messages, because they may not listen. Send them 1 minute or less, so they're actually going to respond back to you. And congratulate them, compliment them, ask them a question. So then I did that. 7 got back to me, so I put all 7 in a chat together, and I individually messaged all 7 of those again. And in this pink chat or whatnot, I call it my pink chat, these 7, I assigned a day of the week to each girl. Okay, so Mary has Sunday, Molly has Monday, you know, whatever. So each day of the week, I then assigned them a day to either bring us a good video to watch, they provide motivation, they are invested in this chat. And that way, if they're not posting, I'm not going to get on to them, but I can make sure, message them and just say, hey, I can't wait to see what you're going to bring to the chat today. It's always positive, but it's a reminder. If they really want to get pink and they're still sitting at 0 a weekend, it's not very possible for a lot of people. And I don't believe that somebody can go pink in a week. I think that, I had girls join the last week of the month, and I'm like, hey, let's go for pink, because I just know her personality, or she had an awesome launch party or something like that. And so I fully believe people can go pink very quickly. So I don't discount it, but I assign them a day of the week. I tell them, you're all part of this. I'm going to run a weekly challenge. Whoever, sells 500, sponsors one person, provides their weekly engagement. Whoever does all of those things first is going to get a business boosting gift from me. So I run weekly challenges with these girls because I want them vested in that chat. The other thing that I think is the most crucial part of a pink chat, because ultimately my next goal will be to move into a blue chat next month, is having all of them post their goals to the chat, all of them post their task list. So how do they formulate that? So I have them in this chat, but then individually I'm messaging them saying, screenshot me your goals, and then I create a folder on my phone and I keep these goals. Then I say, okay, great, love your goal, help them tweak them or add to it if they're too vague. And then I say, here's my task list video. Watch it, formulate a task list, and send me back your task list. Then, Sally or whoever, I'm going to look at your task list, I'm going to look at your goals, and I'm going to see how much they line up. Okay? Because somebody that says, oh, my goal is to be pink, and then on their daily task list, it says, have 2 parties, sell 500, sponsor 1. Then I'm telling Sally or whoever, okay, great goal, but your tasks, if you actually just sold 500 and sponsored 1, you're not going to hit pink. Okay, and she's early on, she may not see that. So that's not me being rude, it's me coaching and molding and showing her, hey, these 2 have to line up. Okay, how can we get them to line up? That's the next step. So that's when I formulate that task list even further. So I want to make one with you guys here in a second. Let's see if I have that next. Actually, before we do that, I have an accountability talk with them. That kind of sounds so funny to me, but it's like, you know what, I can only meet you halfway. I can't run your business for you, but if you tell me you want to work and you're showing you want to work every day, by golly, I'm going to be here to help you get there. That's how I coach. That's truly how I do it. So this girl that hit blue, I tell her, you know what, every time you have an in-home or before, if you have a question, you voice me right then. I'm going to answer those questions for you. I'm going to meet you halfway. I'm going to, if you don't have enough blusher pictures, I'll send you 20 blush pictures. I'm there to actually help her succeed, okay? So you can't just sponsor and expect them. People that, I have this one she's sat at Blue forever, and the next step to green is a hard jump. It truly is. I understand that completely. But when you actually go do the hamster wheel effect and grow your team from the bottom up and top down, it's not that hard if you're working and if you have a strategic task list. Am I talking twice? Is this thing doubling up? Sounds weird. Okay. So I tell her that. I have an accountability talk with every single person, and I tell them in the nicest way possible, you know what? I will meet you halfway. I'm here to help you succeed. I want you to do great, but are you willing to do what it takes? I ask them that. I ask that question. Does everybody respond? No. And my husband asked me one time when I was staying there voice messaging all these people, and be smart about your time. So if I have 7 girls in a pink chat and I'm sending something to the team, I individually then go voice message each girl and forward it to each one. That's not to be impersonal, but if I have a quick question or a quick thing I want to provide them, be efficient about your time. Go forward it to each of the 7. And that's not, and I don't want that to sound impersonal, but you've got to be strategic. When you are trying to grow a business, income producing has got to be on the top of your list. Is it an income producing activity? And that's the only way you're going to grow quickly, is if you make good use of your time. Okay, so the next step in this pink chat. So this past week, I formulated the chat prior to the 1st. All of these 7 girls had a day of the week. They all started posting right on the 1st. I posted that morning, and then I had my first girl start that afternoon. And I got them to start communicating their goals, their task lists, because they'd already watched it prior to the 1st. So then I asked, and I had my accountability talk. I also get on the phone with people if I don't see them or know them personally. That's another thing I do. And then I find them an accountability partner. Okay? So in this chat of 7, I don't like to pair any of those 7. What I want those 7 to do is go friend each other or follow, depends on the person. Friend them if possible, and I want them to get in each other's VIP groups or beauty blog, as I call it. I want them to have people that are going to comment, that are going to like, that are going to encourage, and they're going to hold them accountable. So, for example, if I ran okay, everybody, I want y'all to go live today. If I said that in the group, then Sally can say, oh my gosh, I just did it, yay, and screenshot it in there, and all the other girls are like, oh my gosh, great job, that was your first live. And so it's this collective environment where there's not a group, a team of 2,000 people or 3,000 people in this training group. They feel like everybody's rooting for them. And it's positive, always positive. If somebody has a question, like color matching, because especially early on, they need to learn to color match. They want to learn how to post, and so I can provide them examples based on where they're at in the business. So I find them an accountability partner outside of these 7. So maybe it's an existing pink that I have that I think would match up good as far as personality. Maybe it's a pink that, my sidelight sister has, and we pair them up. So it's different people. So that, again, gives them a bigger sisterhood, because these people that have just started, they don't know very many people, right? So we need to provide that sisterhood instantly, in my opinion. Okay, so then I mold my team. And again, I call it the hamster wheel effect. And here's how I do that. So, let's see. Kind of went over 2 slides. I'll flip over in a second. So the hamster wheel effect. So I was actually talking to one of my girls today. She's trying to grow a green right now. And I'm not sure where everybody is at in their business, but all of you have had green before. So you know what it takes. But knowing what it takes to get green is totally different than knowing how to grow somebody to green. That is sometimes a very hard thing. And I find most success. So if I have this girl that's hit blue, I like to grow girls that are going to re-hit. Okay, so I really like to see somebody hit blue and then the next month hit blue/green, and then feel like they're successful enough to continue hitting the green. Because sometimes if it's one time, it's very deflating if you don't hit it again. Not for everybody, but for a lot of people it is. And so I like to mold their team. So if Sally says, Jordan, I want to be green, what am I going to do? Okay, we're going to write those goals down again. We're going to reach out to everyone on your team. We're going to let them know that this team, it's an effort for the whole team is growing to green this month. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. And I reach out to their team typically. And I just send them a message and just, to the workers. So let's say this girl has 10 people on her team. 8 are working. I reach out to those 8 and I just say, oh my gosh, Sally's working for green this month, let's get this team to green. Because then guess what? We're gonna get you to green shortly thereafter. So I mold the team together with Sally, my person enrolled, and then I remind Sally, this is not a top-down effort. It is not, okay, I'm gonna get to green. No, it is, how am I gonna get Sally to pink and Julie to pink and her to white and her, that's a team effort. So I explained to her, I will reach out to people just to show that support. I will tag some of your girls that tell me, I have a lot of girls that say, I had a really hard time recruiting. So then I will go and I will say, okay, great, I've got a video on that. So then I'll go tag her in a video. I'll show that I'm invested in her team. This takes time and all. So that's why you have to be selective on who you're working with. And then I teach my personally enrolled, I teach her, I say, okay, so here's your team, let's kind of map it out, let's write it out. So this person's gonna do 100, this person said they could do 500, and we're gonna see how these total up, and then we're gonna remind everybody, we got a sponsor, and then if you really want green, you've gotta go sponsor 5 people too. So I show her, it is so different to just tell versus helping her formulate that. So right now I have 3 girls, I'm hoping will tell me today what their task list is, what their goals are, and map out their team to blue, because I'm helping these girls get to blue. So it's very important to hamster wheel effective. It's the whole thing of, if you want to quickly get there, the faster you run, the faster it's gonna go. You have to teach them that, and you cannot just post in your team training group and expect to go to green. You kind of have to touch on all parts of your business every single day, even if it's an hour a day, touch on all aspects of your business to get that thing moving. And I think the most important part is showing your team that to get to green, it truly isn't that hard. That's accountability partners, I kind of covered that. It's not that hard if you have the investment of your team, if they want to help you get there, right? And if you follow up with them, if you ask them their task list, if you congratulate them on a small win, if you're there to support them. So the whole, I literally, you have to mold the team. I can't look at my girl and say, okay, let's get to green, great job, you can do it. It's not how it works. You gotta go kind of mold them. Okay, so I want to build a task list with you guys. Again, I said touch on all parts of the business. Your goals and your tasks have to be specific. So a lot of times when I'm asking a girl to give me a task list that's maybe going for blue, when she says, I'm gonna party, I'm gonna post, I'm gonna recruit, I'm like, okay, that's great. But I wanna know specifically quality and quantity. I want to look at quality goals that are quantity and quantify them. Okay, I want to know if you want 15 parties, how are we going to get there? If you're going to sponsor 3 people, how are we going to get there? So you need a number, okay? You need a number on your goals so that each day we're working for that. So you can cross it off. There's something about crossing something off and feeling successful, right? So quality and quantifiable and quality goals. Okay, and I thought that was hilarious. I do not have my duck. I do not have a row. And there's rolls in a ring. That's truly how most people feel, right? This business is very simple. It truly is. If you have, and I know all of you here in the middle are like rolling your eyes probably, but if you have your goals, have your task list, you can be successful and you can grow people. Okay, so let's build a task list. That's kind of where I start next. Oh wait, I want you to read that. Okay, so everybody will number their page 1 to 15. Okay, I'm going to provide some of the things I think are important, and then I'll kind of tell you how I tweak them based on who I'm talking to. Okay, so number 1 would be posting on your blog or your VIP group. Posting. So I'm going to talk about the VIP group for a second. A lot of people, does everybody in here have a VIP group? Does everybody do that? Yeah? Okay, so I would call it a VIP group, and I think that I did the numbers yesterday just so I would know. 90% or 87% of my sales last month came from my beauty blog, my VIP group. I did not run a special. I don't call it VIP because I associate that with discounts and I don't know. It's just not me. I call it a beauty blog, not because I'm a makeup artist or perfect in any way, but I call it a blog because I want them to follow me. I want them to be invested in me. I want them to grow to know me and my family, and it's imperfect in every way, and it's usually me holding a product in my hand, or I'm learning to apply a product. Oh my gosh, I learned with you. It's very imperfect, but it's a place where people, when they run out of something, they're going to think of me. Oh, I need mascara, I need beauty cream. They're going to think of me instead of thinking of another brand, because they built a relationship with me. So 87% of my sales last month came from this VIP group. So I post in there every day, every single day. I think it's crucial because you're going to build and you're going to add people to this. Anyone that buys from you, anybody that comments on your stuff on Facebook, anyone you build a relationship with at an event, friend them on Facebook and put them in your group. Don't call it VIP, in my opinion. Again, I know there's many ways to be successful. I just don't call it VIP. And plus, then people will refer to that as your blog. When you refer to it long enough as your blog, people are going to say, oh, my friend, Susan, she needed a new product, and I was wanting to add her to your blog. How do I add her to your blog? I want her to see these products. And so it's just different. It's a different, I think words are so powerful. And if you say VIP or whatever, some people think a discounted product. And I don't like the vibe. Number 2 is to post on your personal page. I feel like on my task list every day, I can improve in all these areas. But posting on your personal page, I think the driving force for me is I'd say 50% of the time when I post, it's about my team. It's about someone on my team. It is about somebody that is growing or reaching goals or somebody I've sponsored. And so it's not about me. And I think that is an attraction to people that are looking at what you're doing. If you post more about other people and their successes rather than always, and don't get me wrong, I think selfies and videos, I think that's awesome. But that's not what makes people want to be you or be part of what you do. And I think that is very big on who you're attracting. So, for example, if I went on and did this awesome video and it was great, maybe I'd get a sale, which yes, we need sales. But is it going to attract a person that I want to grow to an elite? Because I think about the trend, and I know I was sitting there thinking about this. I think 3 of the girls here, I think 3 of you here messaged me and said, I want to be part of that sisterhood. That's what it started with. It was not because, and I'm not, I don't know how to do a smoke yet. Oh my gosh, girls on my team do, and I'm learning, but that's not what it's about. They wanted part of that. And I think that attracts people that are like me. Does that make sense? It attracts people that are like, I want to be part of something so fun. I want to be successful. I'm a teacher personality too. I could do that too. Versus if I only put up these perfect videos, people are going to think that's unattainable. I might attract some girls that want some makeup, but I'm not going to attract the people that really are going to be runners. That's just, and again, that's my opinion. So when you're posting on your personal page, I want you to vary it up. So when I post, I think I kind of go through 5 things. It's going to be about my family. It's going to be about a product, something, anything. I can show myself a selfie, where I'm at, something about myself. But the other 2 are going to be about my team. So I'm filtering, okay, now it's time to post this because, your Facebook is now a business page, truly. Your personal page is about a business. And so when you're posting, you want to filter through. You want to share the products, but really, you want to share like where you're at right now. That's attraction. People want to be what you're doing, things you're doing. So right now, a selfie with your friends when you get done today, that's more attractive to people that want to be where you're at versus the perfect picture. Just saying. I truly think crucial because the girls that are my elites, that's how they came about. They came about from pictures and posts about what I was doing and lifting other people up. Number 3 on your task list, and again, you've got to teach your teams this. You've got to friend 5 to 10 new people a day. Some leaders will say 20, so if your upline says 20, great, do 20. But I think you have to teach your girls something attainable, and I cannot go and tell my peeps to friend 20 a day. They just won't do it. But if I say 5 to 10, they will do it. So keep your numbers specific to the people you're dealing with. And then I get asked a lot, how am I going to do that without being spammy? Well, you're going to friend them in parties. You're going to friend them in parties. That's very important. I friend people in parties that the hostess tells me would be interested in the products or interested in what I'm doing. So I don't just go through and friend 50 people and get blocked. I'm strategic more now about who I'm friending. So you want to friend people you have mutual friends with, especially early on. Your warm market, reach through that. So if your best friend doesn't want to do the business, reach through her friends. Find out who y'all have in common so you can have that common link. But friending through parties is an easy way to do that. Okay, number 4 on your task list, offering an opportunity. Y'all, I think that's the easiest task of all, is offering an opportunity to 5 people a day. So how do you find those 5 people? Make a dream team list. Again, this is something I do on the 27th and 28th of the month. Every month, I have it in my planner. And I write down 100 names. That's what I do. I write down 100 names. People on my phone, people I'm in contact with. I always think about the first 10 are just people that are in my dream team that haven't joined me yet. The people that are flat out, they're busy people, they are, whatever the quality is. I love busy people because busy people don't mind being busier, right? That's like me. I'm like, please don't ask me because I'm going to say yes. Please don't ask me because I'm going to say yes. I overcommit, all the time. So find those busy people. They're always the most successful, I promise. Lazy people are going to always stay lazy. So offer the opportunity. So my first 10, literally, sometimes those 10 stay the same because it takes a while to recruit them. But you finally offer it in the right way, find out how to offer it. I won't go on a tangent. Figure out how to offer that opportunity that meets their needs versus yours. You'll eventually get them, I promise. Ask enough. Number 5 on that task list would be 10 people a day that you need to be in communication with. So it could be about parties, it could be follow-ups, it could be to build a relationship. 10 people a day. So a lot of people that say, I'm not growing, I'm like, are you communicating with 10 people a day? All these tasks are the basis of growing pink, blues, and greens, promise. Number 6, follow-ups. So I don't want to take up too much. How am I doing on time, Julie? 5 minutes. Okay. So I won't go into follow-ups completely, but if you ask me, the secret to the business is following up, making people love a product, but more than that, make them love you, right? So when you're following up with people and you're asking about the product, I always leave them with a question, and then I kind of get to know them a little bit. I find out what other makeup they love, what do they need to add to their routine. Can I send you a catalog? Build the relationship, friend them, get them in your beauty blog, complete that process. A lot of people sell a product and that's it. I don't want to sell to new people every month for the majority of my sales. I want to sell to repeat customers because those repeat customers are going to see the value in joining my team, right? And then they're going to know what I'm already doing, and I'm going to be able to say, let's do this. This is so much fun. You already love the product. Your friends are going to love it too. Let's do a launch party, and then I'm going to grow her to pink. So it's a repeat process. Follow-up is the key to the business, I promise. Number 7, every day you need to be hostess coaching. I have a really good hostess video that I will be posting soon, but on coaching my parties. And it's important the number 1 thing you want to take away from a party is a relationship with that hostess. Doesn't matter if you have 50 parties. I used to have 30 parties a month, every single month. And that's how I've always held high PRS. Now I have less parties, but my sales are still very high. And that's because I'm taking a sale, building a relationship, either sponsoring them, literally, every person that buys from me, I either want them to become a repeat customer that has a party, that sends me referrals, or I want to sponsor them. Like, there's 1 of 2 things. I don't have time to constantly find new people. So why not formulate relationships with the people that are buying from you? It's the easiest way to grow. So formulate a relationship with that person, get them to have a party with you, and then when they have a party with you, you want to hostess coach them. So for example, quick overview on that, you're running parties, you want to voice message just like you would your team. You want to voice message these hostesses and coach them. Say, hey, today I'm going to post about the foundation. Here's some info. Would you post this and tag 10 friends? This part right here is important. So when they tag 10 friends or 5 friends or whatever, those are the people you want to friend. Those are the people you want to build relationships with because now it's a connection. It's more of a warm market connection. They mentioned you. You're following up with a message. You're going to put them in your beauty blog. And then guess what? Doesn't matter if they bought because you're going to build a relationship with them now. And then you're going to send them a catalog. You're going to color match them, whatever it is. And then all of a sudden they're going to become vested in you. And when they see that value, this is important. Then the girl that had the party, you go say, hey, Sally, so-and-so's going to buy a product. Why don't you join me? Why don't you do this with me? You'll have instant customers, right? So you see what I'm saying? You're growing like that, and then you show the value. So all of a sudden, Sally joined. She already has somebody that joins her team. And you complete that process, and you keep doing that, molding that little team. All of a sudden, they're pink. And then you're top down, bottom up, all the time in this little team. I focus on my girls that want the business. Quit being negative and worried about other people. Focus on who wants the business, and your business is going to grow. Very, very simple. Keep it simple. I promise it's simple. Just keep it simple. Number 9, sponsor blitzing. So, oh, I'm sorry, 8. 8, party blitz. So, for me, and you can put this on a weekly task list or a daily task list. For me, I like to kind of blitz in my follow-ups, and so I do it every day. But it is different than a follow-up, because a follow-up, you need to kind of figure out if they like the product. The party blitz is when you're specifically asking them to have a party for you, right? So two different tasks. So you can have it weekly. At the beginning, I just did it on Sunday nights, and I would party blitz for an hour. But now I kind of like to do it in my daily process. So if you do that, set yourself a timer so you're efficient with your time. Number 9 is sponsor blitzing. Same deal, same exact thing as a party blitz, either daily, weekly, whatever you need to do. I don't care if you're white or black status, you've got to be having some parties, and you've got to be blitzing, you've got to be asking and offering opportunity to people. Number 10 is personal development. And like I said earlier, what motivates you, you have to figure out what makes you strong, because how you feel about yourself is going to be a direct reflection on your team, right? So if I was gloomy and doomy and I never posted and I was inconsistent, that's what my team's going to be. But if I'm focused and they know that at any given moment they can say, Jordan, what's your task list? I can screenshot it to them. Or Jordan, what's your plan for this? They know I'm prepared. They look to you. You've got to fake it till you make it. You've got to look focused and have a plan and be working your business every day if you expect to grow anybody that's going to do anything. Okay, I'm hurrying. So number 11, check your training groups. Teach your girls to check the training groups, keep up with what you're doing, because this is kind of a task list for you to go and hand somebody that's wanting to be pink. And number 12, I think the most crucial one on the list, especially for our pinks, blues, growing to green, is it has to be something that aligns with their why. And my friend Kendall taught me this. She's out there and she's awesome. And she told me one time when I was going through a task list with her, she said, but Jordan, this is what I love about the business. And I was like, ding, 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 you're exactly right. She loves makeup. She's amazing at it. So she needs that on her task list. She needs to go live and share about the makeup. She needs to be sharing an awesome paint by number Kindle. If you haven't seen her do this, it's awesome. She has these paint by numbers, and she loves making them for her beauty blog and for her personal page. And so if I told her to quit doing that, she would not be as inspired, because that's what makes her tick. She loves the makeup, so she's going to do something with the makeup every day. For me personally, I like to see my kids, because, I have 6, 4, and 2, and they're a lot. So I like to involve them in my business so that I stay focused on why I'm doing it. And that's just important to me. And the other thing is my team. I want to know that, I check on my leads. We talk constantly. But the girls that are growing, I want to know they're okay. So on my task list every day, I individually message my girls that are, this would take a long time to explain, but like the first week of the month, I talk to all my girls that are going to work for Pink. I make sure I kind of have a phone call with them or a voice message conversation. The next week it's my blues. The next week, and I kind of go through a 6-week series so that I'm making sure that I'm really reaching deep into my team. Which brings me to my next point, is reaching deep into your team. I stock my back office like Lauren does, and I go through and I make columns. So, Julia, I promise I'm hurrying. So I make columns of these people. So anyone that sold 500, anyone that sold 1,000, anyone that sold 2,000, etc. I reach out to them, I compliment them, and I look. So if I sponsor this girl that's not doing too much, but I saw underneath her, I just go to her and I just say, hey, amazing. Do you want to be, I'm going to personally train you. Are you ready? That's what I say. And she'll say, oh my gosh, yes, I'll do it. She's seen me enough and she's tracking for Pink, but she didn't hit it because her sponsor didn't do anything. You know what I'm saying? So when you reach out to these people 2 and 3 deep, and I have a girl that's 8 deep for me, that right now, if she keeps working and we get her to green, all of a sudden 2 or 3 of these other girls have the potential to hit. So then I went to 2 or 3 of these other girls and I told them, hey, this girl Melissa underneath you is amazing. Do you know that? And they're like, oh. And then all of a sudden, we might go ahead and hamster wheel effect that and get everybody working because this girl down here is amazing. So you've got to dig deep. That is your job as a leader, truly. I think that's what you have to do. Okay, so last thing. Your team will trust you when they see you lead by example and that you're consistent. I just wrote these out because this is how I feel. So it didn't come from a book or anything. This is just, I printed this out probably 6 months ago because I was had a great conversation with my husband just kind of about how I want people to perceive what I offer. I never want somebody to think when I'm coaching or I'm going live in a training group, that's the only way. That's not true. There's plenty of successful people in this room. We all do it a little bit different. But this is kind of what I follow. I have it again in multiple places in my house. So your team will trust you when you lead by example and that they know you're consistent. So I can't tell my girls to sell $2,000-3,000 a month if I'm selling 500. I'm not going to be able to sponsor the 10 that I say I want to sponsor if I sell 500. So I've got to lead by example. So I focus a lot on my own business, but now it's kind of shifted a little bit where I'm focusing heavily on people that want the business on my team. But I still keep up with a lot of things for myself, for my own team, for my own business, I'm sorry. Second thing is your team will follow you when they see that you care and you build that relationship. And it gets harder, you know. I mean, it's hard to build relationships with everyone, but you have to build relationships with people that show you that they want it. The next one is your team will mimic you when they see that you're worth imitating. I think that's really powerful. When I see, and for me it's very validating, when I post something and I see my team use it in their training group, or I see them mimic the same version on their personal wall, or do the same type of selfie, or whatnot. So be worth imitating. Don't look at that as a negative. Be worth imitating, because if you can get enough people imitating you and growing, you're going to grow another green. The next one is your team will succeed when you show them how. Okay, so don't tell somebody what to do. Show them how to do it. So a lot of these people, and this is the other thing in growing leaders, a lot of these people that get to pink or blue, I'll tell them, let's write down the task, let's write down the goals, and let's say I told them to sell 2,500. I'll say, I'll do that with you. Let's go do that. How am I going to do it? Here's exactly what I'm going to do this week. I'm going to party blitz. I'm going to do 5 in-home consults. I'm going to do 1 event. I tell them exactly what I'm going to do, so that then they don't think I'm giving orders. They know I'm doing it. And then I say, oh my gosh, I just sold 500. Where are you at on your numbers? So it's kind of like tracking the excitement together. And one of my life sizes that's not here, that's her thing. She wants to hear, and she's been that way. She was one of my first greens. She's been that way since the beginning. She'd say, okay, where are your numbers at? I want to do that. Or, okay, oh my gosh, okay, so how's sponsoring going? Tell me exactly what you said to sponsor that person. So then I'll screenshot exactly what I said or forward her the voice messages. And she mimics it. So when something works for you, immediately take that in the moment and give it to the girl that's working on your team that you're forming to be a green. And then your team will succeed when you show them how. So it's the how, not telling them. It's actually showing them how, breaking it down, giving them a task list. Department development is the most successful. So my third class in my PhD program, y'all, the only class I can remember in my first year was about department development. And so quickly, top down, where I'm telling you, hey, this is what you need to do, and you look at me like a boss, versus somebody coming in and saying they're working and reorganizing an organization. I think of a green group, kind of like a pink-blue. I look at them as molding them into a green. So if I just told her what to do, it'd be one thing. If I went and did all the work for her, it'd be another thing. But instead, if I department develop, which means the whole thing, rather than top down or bottom up, you're going to be successful for a longer period of time. So when there's companies, big companies that come in and do department development, they start at the top and it trickles down. It loses its, glitter and all the excitement as it trickles down. You go to the bottom, these people up here never work, they never see the value, eventually they quit. But if you go form the whole team, if you go to the department, if you work with each segment, that's kind of how I view the green. If I go congratulate this girl here, or oh my gosh, she had the perfect selfie. I screenshot it and I go put it in my training group, I tag that girl, and she's like, oh my gosh, she noticed what I did. Of course I noticed, because when I'm working on a green group, I am making sure that I'm reaching out to those girls working on that team. So it can't just be the sponsor. I mean, it can be. Depends on the sponsor. It can't just be the sponsor working, but when they see that, hey, that sponsor is watching what I'm doing, and she knows my goals, it works. So on Friday, last Friday, I asked a few of my leaders on my team, I said, hey, who's working on, because it gets hard to manage sometimes. I said, hey, send me 5 names. I want to reach out to them. So I reached out to all these girls, and I voice messaged each one. I looked quickly in the back office to where they were at. And 5 on my voice message, and 2 or 3 wrote back, oh my God, you know my name? Oh my God, you watch my back office? And I'm like, are are you kidding? Like, you're amazing. So I was like, I love this post. So I went to her wall, I liked the post, I screenshotted, I was like, that was amazing. So it's not about tearing somebody down, it's congratulate what they do right, and all of a sudden they're gonna do a lot of that. So it truly is. So go to the team that you're working on, if there's 1 or 5, because it doesn't take a big team to get green sometimes, and work with that whole group, right? It's so important. I hope that makes sense. So last thoughts are, I want you to ask yourself, are you truly leading with purpose? I ask myself that every single day. And it's important, self-reflection. I'm a big believer in personal development. I'm a big believer in whatever you do every single day, it needs to line up with your why. Every day. And I promise you, you'll never look at another opportunity. You'll never second guess yourself. On a bad day, you'll be okay because you'll remember your why. If you were to walk in my bathroom right now, you would see this old sticky thing. And I wrote it down my first year. It was the month I went green. And 5 things I want to accomplish out of this. I will never not work hard because those 5 things mean so much to me. And when you show somebody on your team that, when you show your girl that's working for Pink or Blue how important her why is and how important her goal list is and how important it is to have it right there in the mirror, she's not going to give up. Okay? And then guess what? You're going to teach her, you're going to tell her, hey, then go tell Sally that. I want to see Sally's goals. So dig deep and teach deep. So have a strong why and then keep it simple. The business is not hard unless you tell yourself that. The business is simple, it just takes work. And then the secret to leading an amazing life is to start every day with clear and purposeful intentions, expecting only the best for the day. Obviously, every day is not amazing. Every day, some days are really hard. All of us have different stories. But the secret of it is to have a purposeful intention. Have a clear intention for your life and for what you want. And to grow someone else, you have to take care of you. I think sometimes that's what I've done it myself. I don't take care of myself sometimes, But the second you take care of you, and you go out there and build relationships with people, that's the secret. Build a relationship with somebody